Hey there, it's Kyle with your Fiverr website review. First of all, thank you for the gig. And second of all, I apologize for the lateness of the gig. I see you had paid a little extra to have the have this gig. I'm sorry, to have the gig completed more quickly. And I talked to Fiverr about having that refunded, but unfortunately, I have to cancel the whole order to do that. So I'm just going to deliver an extra amount of value here in this video to hopefully make up for it, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get started. So I just got finished with a half-hour long video of your website review, and we covered a lot of topics, and what I realized was my microphone wasn't on. So I just made a 30-minute video of basically nothing but my mouse moving around and pointing at a few things. So practice makes perfect, as they say. Hopefully this one will be a little bit more concise, and I think we're going to cover some powerful concepts because the last one went pretty darn well. So let's go ahead and dig in, and yeah, let's get started. So the first things first, let's talk about how traffic works and how visitors come to your website. Visitors can come to your website via Google and search engines and wherever, and they can come to different pages on your site. Oftentimes that's the home page, but often Google will also deliver visitors to other pages like your product pages, pages where a very specific product or a very specific article, a blog can be a great place, can be a great attractor for traffic. Those sorts of things. So we want to think about that in your strategy and how to use that. And very quickly, as far as an overall grade for your website, I think you've got 80% of the stuff here. I'd give yourself a B minus, I would say, if I was giving an honest grade as far as how good it can be and what you're capable of, from that context. There's a few things we're going to talk about today that will help you increase customer loyalty, increase attraction, and those sorts of things. So first things first, let's start with a headline. I notice you don't have a particular headline. Headlines could be a powerful thing. I like to say, I sort of let people in on this world just because I'm an internet marketer, I'm a web developer, and that sort of thing. There's a certain brand of human being, and they're called copywriters. And they live a bit of a quiet and very wealthy life because they know and understand how powerful copywriting is on the internet. And they use it to generate copious amounts of income through automated websites that sell all sorts of various products and services. But you begin to understand how copy makes the web go round. It really does. Images, videos, and that are very important, but copy is really the backbone of everything. So a powerful headline can help you communicate more clearly, communicate most importantly more quickly with your audience. When a visitor comes to your website, you have between 7 and 30 seconds to capture the attention of your visitor, or you lose them forever. So powerful headlines can help you in regards to that. So what would a powerful headline look like for your website? Well, you have myzenhome.com. When I first came to your site, I thought, well, maybe it's home goods that are sort of like the Buddha statue and different things like that. And very quickly, I found out it was meditational cushions and devices and things like that. So, what does that mean as far as your headline goes? How can we help? How can we use your headline to communicate more clearly what's happening? I would just say, in the mission of your company, with your products, with your services. Actually, you don't have any services as far as I can tell, but with all of that. So, what kind of headline could you use? What kind of headline would powerfully communicate what it is that you do? And to me, oftentimes this goes to almost the umbrella, the overarching umbrella of your products, which your mission, your reason for being, and oftentimes it's about the benefits of what your product does. Not so much what your product is, but the benefits of what your product does. If somebody can meditate more comfortably, I would assume they're more inclined to, I would just say, they're probably more inclined to meditate more often and increase their awareness. So, increased awareness, increased spirituality, those sorts of things, come to mind. So think about that with your headlines. And I would encourage you to move this space down a little bit. Put a headline here, and you can use anywhere from here the whole way across the page. It's a powerful piece of real estate. I would encourage you to use it. The next thing I wanted to talk about was your image slider. Now, I admittedly have a love-hate relationship sort of thing going on with image sliders because they're overused and under strategized, I guess, if it's even a real word. In the web space today, especially the business web space. so often they're used, they're just filled up with these blank generic images, and there's no calls to action, and they're just sort of a huge waste of space on the most important part of your website, which is this upper third. So you do a great job with yours. You have calls to action on almost all of yours. There's a lot we can do with this space, though. I suggest you use a video. If you think about, what is the your average profit per product? What if a video could help you sell, an extra 100 products a year? So therefore, what's a video worth? What's having spending $1,000 and having a high quality video made of your product? So those are the things you want to think about. What can you do to enhance and increase your sales and your conversions? It's a lot about business, but it's also about community. And powerful video showing young people enjoying your product, showing the benefits and the real life testimonials, interviews, that kind of stuff can really powerfully communicate what it is that you do, and most importantly, again, the benefits that a customer will receive by using your product. So just something to think about, some food for thought there, and there's all kind of great things you can do with that. Moving on, I wanted to talk about, this is just a little bit of an aside. This is a little bit of just a personal insight. I'm 29 years old. I'm just sort of started getting into meditating, and I'd be willing to look into ways to increase the comfort of my meditational practices. But I spent some time on the West Coast. I'm aware of there's a bit of a movement going on, in my opinion, as far as yoga is growing in the eyes of younger people, especially in certain segments of the country, especially in urban areas. It's pretty incredible. I'm sure you see it, but I'm going to use an example site. I'm sure you've seen Lululemon. This site is hip. It's in a sense sexy. It's you see where they're going with this, right? You see the shapes, the colors, the tones, the textures they use. You see their designs are svelte and sleek, and clean lines, and those sorts of things. And well, your patterns, and certainly I've seen youth use these patterns. They have dresses, sundresses, and things like that. But could you offer just a black version? Could you offer something that's maybe a little bit more hip, as it were, and showing a younger person using it? That just might be my own bias, but I think there might be an insight there as far as potential new markets to reach out to, and so on and so forth. But that's more of an aside. So let's talk about ways to get you more traffic, ways to, in a sense, increase your, I would say, your connection with your audience. I see you have a blog here. Really, we want to use the blog to increase the emotional connection we have with your audience. And each page on your website, each blog article, each page on your site is actually like, if you use the analogy of leaves on a tree. The more limbs and leaves that a tree has, the more sunlight it can catch, and your blog is the same way. So think about that when you're thinking of a blog strategy, as far as what you want to write, what you can write, and that sort of thing. So let's see what I got. Let's go over to your blog here. Okay, so I met with it's a decent blog. It's relatively organized. I see 2 articles with the same image. It makes it a little bit dull, maybe. I see some text that is smacked up against the image. Those sorts of things are actually turn-offs to visitors. So those sorts of things you want to have tidied up, have your web developer tidy those up. If you don't have a web developer, we'll talk about ways to find good people here in a minute. So, all right. Scrolling down here, give myself a minute to breathe and collect my thoughts. So blogging as a strategy for getting traffic is one of the more popular and beneficial things to do today on a modern website. It's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is a worthwhile activity if you have the cash flow to do it. I suggest you hire people to do some article writing for you. Excuse me, just because of the time constraints that you have as a business owner and that sort of thing. If you get inspired and you want to write an article, go for it. But your blog post should be between 450 and 600 words. You can really integrate self-help. You can integrate meditation. You can integrate all of that because it's a really great alignment with your product. So it doesn't have to be a hard sell. Really easy there as far as that goes. You can really just write about a lot of stuff, and it all leads back to your product. Again, capture that movement. What's happening in America right now? Oh, excuse me. So what is happening in America right now? Why are people moving towards meditation? Are they sick and tired? Are they, are they looking for something better? You tend to be, I'd assume, I assume you meditate. I assume this is something that you're passionate about. You're probably around meditators often. Think about that for a minute, though, because that's your world. But there's a whole entire world or a nation that is sick, they're hurting, they're looking for information, and your blog can be a powerful place for that. Excuse me one more second. Okay, so your blog can be a powerful place for that. So think about that. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for your business? How can you tie that in and build a loyal fan base with your blog? And Google will very quickly rank those blog posts in different ways. And there's different ways to get that to happen faster. And there are great people that you can partner with that will help you and help you act on behalf of your best interest to to get all these things done. And I'm going to again introduce you to a site that will help you do that here in a minute. So we talk about your search engine optimization strategy. Blogging is the backbone of that. Your website is set up well. It's a high quality website. You've got a bunch of good stuff on here. So you've got that covered. Really thinking about a content strategy and committing to that long term is what's going to really give you a long-term growth. The next thing I want to talk about, and this really builds into your content strategy, because if a long-term growth strategy is content and is blogging, a more short-term strategy is connecting to people via social media and also influencers of people who buy your product. I'm going to say that again, influencers of people who buy your product. All across the web, in the blogosphere we'll call it, there are meditators, there are Zen people, there are yoga instructors, and they blog. Some of them have followings of 100 people, some of them have followings of many thousands of people. So who can you connect with, who can you partner with, who can you share with that will basically help you get your product into the eyes of more more people that are related to to your potential product and your demographic, so to speak. So I can tell you get it. You get it on an intuitive level as far as marketing and and connection and that sort of stuff. So it's really just about making a good thing great. You've got a great foundation. I think you're really ready to launch. I think you're set to launch in a way that could be huge just because of the growing yoga population in America and even the worldwide, I would assume. But that is just an assumption. So who can you connect with in the blogosphere? Who can you connect with in different communities to pollinate your message, to pollinate your ideas and your vision and your concepts and your products into other communities, into other places? Lululemon does the community thing very well. When you go to their stores, they have local yoga studios and yoga practitioners all over their walls. It's really amazing. They really integrate with the community very well, and that's really what business is going to look like going forward. It's incredible. It's exciting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that happen on more ways and with more companies. In a lot of ways. So, getting your products in front of the right people. That's really what social media is all about. You can talk about search traffic. Search traffic's a little different. When somebody searches for a product, they're in problem-solving mode. They're in a mode to get what they want and get to it quickly. So social traffic's a little different. People are a little bit more laid back. They're a little more curious. They're insightful. They're looking for things to inspire them, to motivate them. So think about that. Who and how can you connect with people through social media? There's all kind of great ways to grow. When you think about you mentioned that how many visitors your site is getting. When you have a clear view of your analytics profile of, okay, who's coming to my site? Where are they coming from? How long are they staying? And what percentage of my visitors are buying products? When you know those clear analytics to that degree, and you start running advertisements to your site, if you realize that if you pay 70 cents for an ad and it makes you $1, you can scale up that ad to make you thousands and thousands of dollars just simply by the law of numbers. Now, typically there is what they call a law of diminishing returns there, or you will reach your production limit capacity, something to that effect. But you begin to get the concept of how powerful the web is when you have your analytics down, when you have your sales funnels down, and you can really powerfully measure and track and test. So that may or may not be your cup of tea. Again, it's important to say, no man or no woman is an island. It's great to partner with good people. Let's talk about Odesk or Elance and see what we can do with those sites. Let's go here. Odesk.com. This is a site for freelancers, and it's a great place. I've found great people here. I use the site all the time. Here's another one. And really, your only leverage in life is your ability to direct and motivate and lead others. We all have 24 hours in a day. How can some people get so much more done than others, and some people do it so gracefully and with seeming ease and effortlessness? That's pretty cool if you ask me. So I think your ability to communicate, your ability to lead, and those sorts of things are really what makes the difference. And I think about that in my business too. So don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help. Just like relationships in real life, use clear guidelines, clear limits and boundaries, and really just be human about it. You're dealing with human beings. Oftentimes they'll have fears. They'll want to say, yes, I can be your do-all, catch-all, and do everything for you because I'm great and I want you to like me, and that sort of thing. And you'll realize that they are only human, and you've got to coach them a little bit. And it's really an amazing learning experience, and it's been a journey for me as well, as far as learning how to work with freelancers and hire people and fire people and all the things that come along with that. But the scale and the leverage that can bring you, your business, your lifestyle, your family, all of those things are nearly exponential. So I would suggest that you reach out and ask for help. I would suggest that you find great people on the web to work with and partner with. You can find people in your community if you know any. Oftentimes you can leverage the dollar conversion rate for other countries and work with foreign developers that are nearly just as good. Sometimes with blogging and your blogging strategy, if you want to get content writers, you probably want people with English as a first language, but you can also find people with very good English that write that are from other countries, and they're happy to work for $5 an hour because that's like $20 an hour in their country. So think about that. What would that look like for your business? How would that help your business? And what would you do if you had more time and more arms and hands and legs? So that's about it for this. I could go on all day. That's the thing. I feel like these things I can ramble. I can talk ad nauseum about this sort of stuff. What really matters is action steps. What really matters is what's your vision for this company? What's it going to take to get you to that next level of growth? I feel like some of these concepts that we talked about today will help you get to that next level. I am available for extended consultations. I do offer some pretty powerful strategy sessions where I do some real world searches, Google research to find out what's happening on the web, where your best efforts are spent, connecting in the blogosphere to powerful bloggers and communities and things like that to really pollinate your message, to help you get your content strategy rock solid, bringing compelling content, really make sure your website's optimized, get a handle on your analytics. That's the kind of stuff in the strategy products that I offer and services that I offer. If you want to dive into that, I am available. If you have any questions, most importantly, about what I've covered today, I know I can talk quickly and I don't take spaces in between my breaths too often. However, my mindfulness practice is teaching me to take more space and slow down. So, thank you for the gig. Thank you for the opportunity to review your site. And I wish you the best of luck. Please let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to hear from you. All right, bye-bye.